18 years and has great experience in a wide variety of projects. And he is not going to present us a new product today, but he's going to focus on how products are made. He's going to talk about the process of designing products and developing them, if I read the abstract correctly. So, welcome, Chris Vorreiter, please.
Can everybody hear me out there? Okay, so I can speak without the microphone. So today, please. You sure? Yes. Okay, then I think. So today I'm not talking about the internet. I'm not talking about things and gadgets and so on. I will talk about how to perfectly create the wrong product. So my name is Chris Vorreiter, and I'm a user experience designer. I'm specialized in interaction design. I do user research, and I'm in the field of product strategy. So what I normally do is I'm creating products that are based on human needs, wants, and behaviors. I'm working for a design consultancy based in Vienna, and I try to help our clients to come up with products that are better and that meet human needs. So the question I hear a lot in the past couple of years is, okay, what is when we are building the wrong product? Yeah? And we spend money for probably a product nobody needs or it's not satisfying for people. So what can we do to produce more usable products? What can we do to create better products for our clients? And what do we need to do for the client so that we have better products, better services that people really want? So the topic today for me is how continuous user research and design thinking help teams to focus on the really important stuff. So if you're, sorry, I'm not talking about design thinking because it's a much longer talk. I'm sorry for that. But if you have questions afterwards, we can talk together and probably have a few slides. I will talk about how user research can really help you to identify the right opportunities where you can, and how you can solve problems users have outside and how your product fit into the lives of your users. So there are a couple of problems when I'm working with clients, or what I'm discovering when working with clients together or with teams. So a couple of months ago, I had a client who was completely falling in love with his idea of a product. But this was so strong that they forget to falling in love with the real problem people have. So they rushed into building a product, and were not gathering enough information, things about their users and their potential customers to verify the needs, so that these people can do a better job. There's another problem, learning from friends. So if you have an idea to create a product and you ask your friends and family, you probably gather the wrong information. They will probably never say you the right things. They will, of course, love your idea. They will say to you, of course, I buy it and I pay money for it. I pay a lot of money for it. Sure, you have a great idea, I love it. And no, I don't want to hurt your feelings. Of course not. Yeah? You are my son, and so no. So it's probably you gather data from persons that are not relevant to your product. So there is another problem. So listen to users, so be careful, yeah, instead of observing their behavior. That means people, there is a big difference in when you're asking people what they actually do and or what they would do. Yeah? So people are very bad in predicting their own future. So for researchers, it's really, really helpful to ask questions what they did do. So your product can better fit in their life. So, for example, do you plan to buy an assistance car driving system in the next 2 years? So this is a question that leads to the future, and probably 2, 3, or 5 people in here will say, "Oh yes, I'm interested, and I have the money. Yes, of course I will buy this kind of car." But probably this is completely false, because you can't predict the future. You do something else with your money, probably. So humans are very bad in predicting their own future. So it's better to observe people, what they are really doing, how they really doing their task in their jobs or in their spare time when you're building products. There's another problem. It's I saw it a lot in meetings where people say, "Okay, I think it is like that, and I believe that," and other people say, "Okay, well, I heard that marketing said," and these are all best guesses, and they are unverified assumptions. So it's okay if you do assumptions. It's okay if you think and believe, but find a way to validate these assumptions and hypotheses so that you are sure you are building the right stuff. So yeah, this is the next problem. Yeah, when you not test your riskiest assumptions of your product. So the riskiest assumptions, these are assumptions that are core to your product, that are core to your idea you have. And if these assumptions are not true, for example, your whole idea falls apart. And if your whole idea falls apart, you probably spend a lot of money and your product won't work. So be sure to verify these things. This is a definition of a startup. So from Eric Ries, he wrote the book The Lean Startup. And a startup is a human institution designed to create a new product or service under conditions of extreme uncertainty. So I think in the world of Internet of Things, there are a lot of things of uncertainty when I see startups and so on. Yeah? So, and here you have to be very precise and to list your assumptions and hypotheses so that you can verify them, verify the problem, verify the market, so that your product fits better to your audience. There's another thing about the builder mentality. So I saw a lot of people, so they're building a company and starting to produce a software or products. They are rushing into building these products because they know how to build. They think I can do that. I did it on the university. I know what to do. I know the subject matter. Everything is fine. I can do it. Yeah. And I know how to do it. That's probably a little bit more important to them. Yeah. But if you do this, you are probably creating a product without knowing what for. So the next thing is, okay, you know how to code, you know how to develop, and you're probably executing the wrong plan at this stage. And the most thing I hear is that people think they don't require information or data from potential users or insights from users. So in this case, you're probably creating a beautiful product nobody needs. On the other hand, okay, what can we do to identify, design, and develop the right product for your audience? So first, you have to understand the problem. A problem in the world that people really cares about. If you understand the problem, you have to understand, are there enough people that have this problem? And then you can design a product that solves this problem for the market. So these are the three things. So define the problem, look at the market, and solve the problem with your product. There's a researcher, Thomas Sharon, he's working for Google, and wrote a couple of books, and his new book is Lean User Research. And you find the URL. You find a lot of very interesting things which can help you how to execute user research, how you can do it. So it gives you ideas and what's important for your product development. So I will go on with one of the techniques and how we do it. Observing customer. So, as I meant before, so we can assume that we have to verify characteristics and identify opportunities with our users together, so that we can create a great value proposition for the product. So we have a couple of opportunities. So we can focus on jobs, routines that people have. Tasks they have to perform to meet a certain goal. Yeah. We can research what delights them, and on the other hand, what annoys them, what interrupts their working procedure, for example. Yeah. And then we focus on what's the most important thing for the audience to get the job done. There's another opportunity. Yeah. So we have probably unsatisfied jobs. So you can't finish your job without this new product you are developing. Yeah. So if you observe people in their daily in their daily surroundings, for example, you can look at behaviors and how they're trying to solve this problem now. I was part of a project last year. At the beginning of this project, it was so a special user group, I didn't even know they existed. It was such a special B2B software tool that at the beginning of this project, I couldn't imagine what this could be. And just after 2 days, with people together, with experts from expert users from there, we started to we started to know how these people are working, and an idea together with our client. We formed an idea together with our client, so that the tool we were trying to build fits better into their workplace, in their routines, and in their way of how they are working. And then we realized, so we did a lot of user tests during the development process, and right from the beginning we saw that our product fits perfectly into their life. So the next opportunity is when we target certain jobs extremely well. So we map, when you do an observing and so you probably have a lot of data, but then you have also to focus on a few things, but do these few things extremely well, so that people are convinced to, hey, this tool is so good in this part, I use this tool, for example, or I use this thing. So the other thing is go beyond functionalities. This is address emotions and social jobs. So social jobs are, for example, gain power, to gain some status, look good, for example, feel good, be happy, and be cool, for example. And emotional things are secure, it's fun, I like it very much. Next opportunity where you can put your product in is when you differentiate your product from your competition, the things that people really care about, so that you have a differentiator here. So very often management says, oh, you don't have time. You don't have money to learn from user research. We waste our time, it's too cost intensive. But on the other hand, I have to say, we learn a lot from people, and I think it costs much more money if you're developing a product for 6 months, for 9 months, or even longer, and at the end, the product is not needed by your audience. So we get out of our buildings. It's called Goop. It's a phrase from Steve Blank, so that we can talk to customers. So we collaborate with our customers, we collaborate with our clients. We try to spend as much time as possible with clients and their customers to gather information together, so that we get a better idea what the people need. So we test our assumptions and hypotheses. I'm sorry for that, but it's a very complicated word for me, but okay. So research helps us to make better product decisions. They're based on data, these decisions, and they're based on evidence. So we use the circle from the Lean Startup, it's build, measure, learn. So we build some part of something, we have an idea, just a little part, we test it, and we learn from it, and then we can continuously adapt things. That's really powerful because you can do it in very, very short iterations. So when you are making research a natural habit, in very slow, in a very iterative way, it's not so expensive, and you can start to create products for people. Thank you. Yeah. Any questions?
Okay, I just want to highlight one problem because I have already made almost all of them what you mentioned. And this is the hiding, because I think it's almost the source of every problem. If you think that your idea is a genius and you don't want to share it and you are hiding actually, then you will all of the mistakes. Just it.
Yeah, you learn very late. I think that's it. Yeah. And you probably learn something too late.
Yeah.
What do you say to Henry Ford's quote, if I had asked my customers what they want, they would have said faster horses?
That's correct. So don't only listen to your customers. Yeah. So you also need a vision, of course, yeah. But again, listen to people, because people don't know the future. They even don't know the Internet of Things exists, for example, but it exists yet. Yeah. But you have to observe things. If you have an idea, so I'm trying to build something, yeah, you can observe people's behavior. And according to that behavior, you can fit your product into their lives. And without even and they don't even know that you're building it. And suddenly you see, oh, it's working, and they are doing it. I think there was another case with the doors in the cars, for example. So and I think it was in the 70s. So normally cars had just two doors, one on the left, one on the right, and I can't remember which company it was. They did some research and you say, okay, we build a car with 4 doors. And everybody said, oh, nobody needs 4 doors, why that? So observe behaviors, observe how people are doing a task now, right now, and try to improve that.
Yeah, I think what Henry Ford was saying is that the really big challenges of humanity are obvious. So you don't have to ask somebody if they need faster, cheaper transportation. But if you're working on smaller problems, you have to listen to your customers.
My question is, when you're building, for example, web applications, you usually start with creating landing pages, see if users sign up, you can even do A/B tests or whatever. But what happens when you are building Internet of Things devices? Then, for example, you cannot provide free trials. This takes a much bigger commitment from the early adopters. What would you do to convince them? So how would you test on a broader audience without sacrificing a lot of money on their side?
I don't have experience with real products, so I think I don't know. Maybe I settle a little bit down. We can talk later. I have some ideas, but I would say yes, you have to try it with some user groups also. So probably it's about building some interested people around. You always have some community and trying out things, like this community here, of course. Yeah.
Okay, a story of my experience. When I come to Austria, to a big company, they showed me how they have worked. And I looked at it, how they have used SAP, this famous software. And I was really, well, surprised about how they use the system. Because before I worked at a small company as a branch, and I asked them, why you are using this software in this way? We're doing it every time, so it's normal. But there's another way. No, there is no other way. I can show you. And I've taken my own laptop with an old system and demonstrate them the other system used in other companies. And they were really surprised that there exists another way to do it. And they were really surprised that they get knowledge that they have had a problem. And that is the really interesting thing, why you couldn't ask customers if they have the problem, because they don't know it. If you survive them and build intersectional teams and cross borders, you can see and investigate those problems and can find solutions easily, taking solutions from other areas and transport them to another area.
Yeah. Any more questions? Okay, one last thing. So we are looking for participants. So probably that's a way. So we want to test a new software. When you can answer the following two questions with yes, you are probably a good participant. Anyone here? Okay. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. And I think we have a 10 minutes break.